Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. I work here, but I don't work here. Crazy Karen accuses me of attacking her with tea. Me is me, Karen is K, supervisor is S, and sandwich shop employee is SE. So it happened. I finally met my first Karen after 19 years. I've met many people with the Karen haircut, but they've all been nice. Not this time. So I work at a well-known corner shop in the UK. We also happen to have a well-known sandwich shop as part of our shop. Now, they have a fancy coffee machine that makes lattes and all the fancy coffee, so we tend to use that to get our tea or coffee. Sometimes they'll offer to make one for us. In the mornings, there's usually only one person on making sandwiches and we always have two. One supervisor and one sales assistant. Well, on this morning, I was behind their counter making myself a cup of tea because I hate coffee, and I only know how to make tea on the machine. The sandwich employee was out in the warehouse sorting out their delivery when Karen came in and caught me. I have my back to her minding my own business. Now, bear in mind our uniforms are completely different. Ours is black with our company name, theirs is green with a hat with their company name on the front of their shirt in huge letters. Excuse me? I turn around and smile. Yes, hello, I'll be over in just a sec. I assumed she was a customer for my side. Make me a latte and a cappuccino to go. Oh, sorry, I'm afraid I can't do that. I don't work here. But you're using the machine and are behind the counter, so you can just make me my drinks. No, I'm sorry, I don't know how to make you the drinks you want, and I don't work for the sandwich shop. I work for the corner shop. Look, my uniform says so. I point to my company logo on my shirt. I don't care, you're behind the counter so you can make my drinks. Me getting fed up. I'm tired and it's too early to be dealing with this. I was just making myself a cup of tea. If you give me a second, I can buzz up the sandwich employee so she can make you your drinks. No, you are behind the counter. Don't lie to me. I saw you use the machine. So you do know how to use it. You're just being difficult, you dumbo. Look, I'm not lying to you, and I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. I start to walk to the door to go to my side of the shop with my tea. Don't you walk away from me, you witch! By this time, I've had enough, so I carry on walking to my side when she grabs my arm, making me spill tea over both of us. Great, I'll have to clean that up. I ignore her and keep walking, and immediately buzz my supervisor up. Karen's still having a go at me and screaming about how I threw my tea over her. Luckily, my supervisor finally heard all the commotion and came over. What's the problem here? I tried to get some help from this employee here and she ignored me. When I went to ask her again, she threw her drink on me. Look, it's burnt me. Proceeds to show the supervisor where the tea landed on her arm. What? That's not true. I was making myself a drink and explained to her I couldn't make a drink for her. When I said that, she got all mad and grabbed me, making me spill my drink. Go watch the cameras. At this, Karen looks a little scared but still kept to her story. The supervisor goes to look at the cameras and I go back behind the till to serve other customers. Karen stood quietly by the door. I'm surprised she didn't try and leave. My supervisor comes back out and proceeds to ban Karen for laying hands on me. She was fuming, but ultimately left when the supervisor threatened to call the police for assault. I now have the satisfaction of seeing her face plastered on our wall of shame every time I work. Well, right at the start they mentioned that they were from the UK, and spilling tea like that I'm pretty sure is punishable for like 30 years in prison here, so I'd be calling the police. By the way, it's not actually. Woman wants me fired from somewhere I don't work, without actually speaking to me. This takes place in a care home where I would visit an old neighbor. I will call her Ruby in this tale. Ruby was basically bedridden and often napped while she had visitors. She also had a sweet tooth and loved her ice cream. If she was sleeping when I brought the ice cream for her, I had permission to use the fridge in the day room to store this. Visitors could also get themselves a drink there for themselves, and those they were visiting. Ruby's room door had a squeaky hinge. This plays a role. I went to visit Ruby with some ice cream. I signed the visitor's book and let myself in with the code. As I was closing the door behind me, it was tugged open by the woman in the title. She huffed and nudged past me. Ruby was sleeping, so I put my bag down and went to put the ice cream in the day room. As I passed the next room, the door opened and woman looked out. I nodded and went on my way. I chatted to one of the staff about Ruby and returned to her room. Not to make this too long over the visit, I popped in and out of Ruby's room a few times to get her ice cream, make her a cup of tea, etc. Each time I left the room, the woman would pop her head out and scowl at me. I said goodbye to Ruby at the end of my visit, and as I was signing out, the woman left the office and pointed me out to the manager of the home, who looked puzzled, and the woman stormed out. The manager waited until she left and then burst out laughing. The woman had just spent 15 minutes complaining that a member of staff had ignored her, not offered her or her mother any ice cream, tea, coffee, etc., ignored her request for an update on her mother's care, and wanted the rude, uncaring, lazy person fired at once. So apparently that was me, the person she had never said a single word to. SMH at that one. That's a huge fear of mine, that I end up this miserable old person that's stuck in a care home. Oh, I really hope it's not. Every time I go to traffic court, I'm always assumed to be a lawyer. Spoiler alert, I'm not a lawyer. I don't frequently get traffic tickets or parking tickets, but when I do, I fight them in person. On the day of my court appearance, this happens 2 or 3 times before the session. The Karen. Hey you need to represent me today. I don't have a lawyer and I can't afford this $500 ticket. You need to get me off. I'll lose my license and I can't bring my kids to school or go to work if I'm found guilty. How much are your rates? They better not be expensive. All I can afford is $75 and no more than that. I can't represent you. I'm not a lawyer and I don't have a law degree. Even if I was, I can't solicit clients in the courthouse. And I point to a sign which says lawyers and paralegals can't solicit clients in the courthouse. Don't you lie to me, you are a lawyer. Look at you. You're wearing a tie and have cufflinks on, and you strut around here like you own the place. Look lady, I'm not a lawyer, and even if I were a lawyer, I'd be charging you a lot more than $75 to represent you. You see, you're a liar. You are a lawyer, you just want to charge me more. Okay, I'll give you $100 and no more, and I'd better be found not guilty of my charge. No lawyer can guarantee you'll be found not guilty, especially not for $100. You have a duty to represent me. When my case comes up, I will tell the judge that you are my lawyer and you will have to represent me. For the last time, I am not a lawyer, but I do know this much. If you tell the judge I'm your lawyer and he finds out I'm not, you will be in serious trouble. Liar! You lawyers with your fancy hair and pocket squares think you're better than everyone else, and... Look lady, just because I wear a tie, cufflinks and have my hair done doesn't mean I'm a lawyer. I'm a life insurance salesman. This is how I dress to go to work. Then why are you here all dressed up if you're working in life insurance? Because I have my own ticket to fight. And if I may make a suggestion, next time you come to court, have your lawyer pre-hired and don't wear a ripped tank top from H&M. You should put on a good appearance for the judge. "Ah, screw you, you pathetic salesman." And she walks off looking to find another lawyer. So if you go to court and make yourself look nice, which I'm pretty sure you're supposed to do, then you're automatically a lawyer. Okay, woman. She had the look of someone in need. I had the look of someone who could help. I blamed the maroon shirt I was wearing. I blamed it as soon as I saw the older woman approaching me. The supermarket staff all wear maroon shirts, and I just happen to work for a university whose colours include maroon. It wasn't a university shirt, but after 25 years, too many of my shirts happen to be maroon. For those of you who are drinking shots every time I say maroon, you're drunk now, and I'll only say it one more time. The produce section was crowded, and I made my way across the area with determination. I was going to get those dang tomatoes. As I was crossing and avoiding knocking over the elderly, I spotted a woman walking towards me. Those of you who have posted here know the feeling. You're being tracked and an intercept course has been plotted. I also knew at that moment why she was coming towards me. As her track was about to intersect with mine, out of the corner of my eye, I could see her mouth begin to open, and her bony finger was coming up. However, I was quicker on the draw. I drew my finger up faster than hers, stopped, halted her movement with a glance, and said, "I don't work here." "Well, you shouldn't be wearing maroon," she exclaimed with a laugh in her voice. I laughed as well and hurried off towards the tomatoes. Yep, just as I thought, that danged shirt. Wait, I think I got lost here. Can someone clarify what colour shirt he was wearing, please? No, I'm not my sister. I used to work in retail. It was only Walmart and not for long. That is a much more aggravating story. Anyway, I haven't worked there in maybe 6 or 7 years. I primarily worked in the kitchens before I settled in a hotel. I have 2 sisters, both of which work in retail, and yes, we do look a lot alike, according to just about anyone who meets us. We're all 2 years apart. One works at a Walmart and the other works at a grocery store, which is the setting for this story. Speaking of which, on to the story. I went grocery shopping with my mum last week. As I was waiting for my mother to come back with her cart, an older woman who is OW heads for the door inside and notices me. "I didn't know you were working today." "I'm not, I don't work here." "But don't you work retail?" My mum chimed in because she noticed I was having trouble. I'm a little on the awkward side when it comes to talking to people. "It's probably one of my other daughters. One of them works here." "I could have sworn she worked at Walmart." "My other daughter works at the Walmart in the next town." "Oh, that explains it. Y'all look a lot alike." And with that, she walked away. My mum looked at me and said, "If you 3 look that much alike, I don't see it." I love my mum. Figured a nice quiet one is appreciated every now and again. Yep, definitely, I do appreciate a non-crazy one every now and then. I don't work here, you do. So I was working as a sales promoter. While I work at the store, I do not work for the store. I work for one of the suppliers giving out samples of meat and cheese my company makes. Normally, I have no problems at the store, but there was this one that was always a pain. When I come in, I cut up some of the meats I'm sampling in half-pound bags for quick sales, and then my samples. I never asked anyone to slice for me and always cleaned the slices before because the workers never cleaned, and after. They once blamed me for the mess on a slicer I did not use and it was their mess. I was used to customers calling out to me while I was prepping my samples, and explained that I did not work for the store, and if I injured myself on the slices, no one would pay for my injuries. What I was not used to was the employees telling me to work the deli counter while I was there. They kept telling me, "The other girl does it." I told them they shouldn't, we don't work here, and if we get hurt, we have to pay out of our pocket. I tried to get the attention of the employees for the customers, but nothing, and even had one of their managers come and tell me to slice. One of them came up to me and said, "Why can't you help us out?" I tried to be nice and help out my first time here, and you all stopped coming over at all. I am not paid to slice for the customers, I am paid to sample out the food. You are insured through work with workers' comp. I am not because I don't work here. You do. I will not help because you will leave it to me and not let me do my actual work. They called my manager and told him that I did nothing but chat with customers all day and blamed their mistakes on me. They said that my chatting confused the customers and they did not want me there anymore. What actually happened is I sampled them out our new roast beef and turkey from our new organic line. Since they contain no nitrites and the customers could not have any nitrites, they ordered a pound of each. And I saw the employee grab the wrong roast beef and I tried to correct the employee. They ignored me, so I let them cut it, but warned the customer to look at the label, as the one that the employee grabbed contained nitrates. The customer made sure that they got the proper roast beef, and the store had to throw away the first pound. My boss believes me, since he hired me away from one of the other stores for my work ethic, and chatting on the job would lead to more sales, as they were usually ways to combine our meats, cheese, and sausages in recipes or sandwiches. He just stopped sending us to that store. Whatever, I hated working that store anyway, because they kept having me move where I was placed. All of the other stores I went to loved me. I got sick and had to quit, and whenever I go to the store, they call me over to see how I'm doing and ask my former coworkers and managers about me while I was too sick to go to the stores. I went to one 3 days ago and they all came out to hug me since they were not busy at the moment, so he knew it was just one bad store. Imagine calling up a sales representative's boss and saying, "Oh, all they do is chat to the customers." Like, yeah, that's their job. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.